This is a tutorial on how to create your Divi post templates. So let's go into the back end of your WordPress website with Divi, and we're going to create a template that you can use to make creating blog posts very fast and easy. So we'll go into creating a new post, and we're just going to call this sample template. Now what I would recommend you do is just go ahead and start with using the Divi builder. So if you haven't used the Divi builder before, it is a drag and drop builder. You can either use the back end and move the modules around manually, or you can go in the front end and use the visual builder, and I'll show you how to do both. We're going to build from scratch, and when you create a new page and you build from scratch, this is what you will see initially. So first thing we're going to do is turn off the right sidebar and make this full width. Sidebars have pretty much gone away from blog posts just because so many readers are on mobile devices, and that sidebars just don't make sense anymore. So we just leave them out. And you have the option here. You can go ahead and show your post title if you want to, or you can hide it. So somebody would show it if they wanted it to appear at the top of the post, and you would hide it if maybe you had a graphic that contained the title of the post that you wanted to display, and it would seem a little redundant. So you could do it either way. It's up to you. So now we're creating our blog post, and if you haven't used the Divi builder before, the pages are built up of horizontal sections that populate the page. So I'm going to go ahead and start by adding a row to this section. We do this by clicking on the green circle, and I want this to be the top of my blog post. Now when I click on that, what I get is all of my column configurations that are available. And so you can see I have full width all the way to having 6 columns across. I'm going to go with a full width, and it automatically prompts me to add a module to the row. I'm going to go ahead and add a text module here. And this is going to be, the way that I like to do this is I put the blog content here. And I'll show you, we'll update that in a minute. And I'll add it, and I'll scroll back up. Now, if you were to visualize a blog post, you'd say, you'd want the text at the top. You'd want to have a lead magnet at some point on the page. So I'm going to add a row for the lead magnet. Now what I like to do when I add lead magnets in the middle of a page is I will put the image of the lead magnet, so like a screenshot of what they're going to get, to the left, and I'm going to leave that blank for now. And then we're going to add text, and this will be the call to action. You have 2 options here for this. If you are using an email service provider that allows you to embed your forms, what you would add on this right hand side is code, but I'm going to show how to add an email opt-in. If you have an email service provider that integrates with Divi, and a lot of them do, we'll go ahead and go into email opt-in. I'll show you what that looks like. So right here is where you can connect your email account. And these are all the email service providers that you can connect with Divi. So if you are using any of these, you could actually connect your account, and then it will pull in your forms and they will work together. I use Kartra, which is not on this list. So what I do is I pull the code, it's the HTML code from the form, and I embed it into the page. But I'm going to go ahead and just click off of that, and we'll add some text here that says download my recipe book. Okay, so we have our opt-in, we might want to have a row here for our related posts. So after we have somebody who reads our post, maybe they want to read some other blog posts that we've written. So I'm going to populate this text after. Right now I'm just going to go in and create the different columns, and the text that's going to go inside will come after. So now I'm going to add what we call a blog roll. So I'm going to put this underneath the heading of related posts. So I'm going to add a blog module. I'm not going to modify this now, but I am going to clone it and just populate these columns. Okay. Now underneath that, I would add an About Me section, and I would want to put one of my headshots and a bio. So I'm going to put my headshot on the left by selecting an image module. I'll populate that after, and then I'm going to add a text module right here. And then what I'll probably do is put a social, let's do another full-length module here. We're going to say text. And then underneath I'm going to put a follow, social media follow module underneath there. Or maybe I'll move this so we can just drag and drop. This is what's great about Divi. Once you create the section, you can move it all around the page. So let's go ahead and populate this content. I'm going to go ahead and label these blocks so that I remember what it was that I was going to, what's in these. Now if I want to come in and edit them, I want to put this in the label. If I want to go back and edit my pages later on, I'll actually see what's in each of these boxes instead of having to open it up and look at it, because I may not remember what I put in all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and label this. And we're going to take a look at the front end. Real quick, and then we'll see what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead, oops, didn't want to do that. Go ahead and actually this is going to show 10 posts. I don't want that. I just want maybe, actually, how about just one? And this is going to be our header that says more from the blog. And I'm going to update this to say lead magnet graphic. And I want this to be my blog content. And you'll see why this is really handy in a second. So let's say we're going to go ahead and fill in this content with some of the stuff I happen to have in my media library. Ideally this would be all, the right stuff, but this is just kind of sample stuff. So we have blogs, we have let's connect, let's update our social media. So with the social media follow module, we need to go in and add the channels or the networks or platforms rather that we want to add. So we're going to add Facebook, we're going to add a Pinterest, definitely going to add a Pinterest, love Pinterest. We're going to add a YouTube, and maybe one more. We'll do an Instagram. Okay. And once we have all, now we can go in here. We're gonna update our links. After we select the network, we're going to go in, add our link, and then we can change the background if you want to change that. But we'll take a look and see what it looks like before we do anything else. And we'll save that. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the front end. And this is what our blog post will look like. Alright, so imagine our blog content is here. We've got our lead magnet. We've got some sample, our blog posts here. And we've got this. So this does not look exactly the way I want it to. So let's go ahead and do some edits on the front end. So we're going to add a headshot. This is the one that was our bio. So I'm going to add this sample picture here. And the text will go, I know that little modules are in here somewhere. Click here and we're going to do a, now hopefully you have a bio that you can use. If not, you know, you can easily write one up that talks about your experience, your credentials. Okay, just going to put all this here, blah blah blah, doesn't matter. And we want to make this much bigger, so let's change the heading tag on that, and we're going to center it. Same thing with this module. We're going to center this. We're going to go on the settings. We'll go to design, alignment. We'll select the middle. Now this is kind of small, so I'm going to actually make this 50-50 and see if I like the size of that better. Because I deleted it. Yeah, we'll do that. Now, what we'll do here is pretend we have blog content. Now, if I wanted to, obviously when you create your own blog post, this will not be all this, but this is for demonstration's sake. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and add an image. So let's say I have a blog image that I want to add. I'm going to add media to my post. Let's say it is for foods that reduce inflammation. Go back in here, and I don't want this to be by itself. I do want it to be a little bit bigger, but I want the text to wrap around it. So let's go back into our module. We'll go in here, and what I want to do is reduce the size in here. So if I click here, what I can do now is I'm going to go back to the page. So I'm going to save my changes here. I'm going to go ahead and publish this post. We'll go back to edit it. Now what I want is the text to wrap around around this picture, but I want it to be over here, and I want it to be a little bit smaller, like this. Great. So now when I go in and I want to view the post, I'll see what it looks like to my reader once it's published and I promote it. So this is actually much smaller than I wanted. That's okay. Now what we can do here too is make some headers, we can do some formatting. So let's say this is our title. So we're going to highlight that, highlight the text that we want to make bigger, and we can format it using this text editor on the front end. So the text settings here, we're going to change this to an H1 because we want this to be a section header. I'm going to get rid of some of this. Okay, and then we can go down here. We'll just do some editing. Let's say we want to make this a quote. Makes it stand out. Oops. And we can do all kinds of other editing, either on the back end or the front end. We can change the color of the text using the paintbrush. We can go ahead and hyperlink. We can change make it bold, italics, and underlined. We can also change the tags. So if you wanted an H1, H2, H3 for different headings, you can change the font here. You can change the font size. So there's a lot of things you can do on the front end, updating your text in your blog post to make it, to improve the readability and the SEO for your blog post. Let's see. So this section is my more from the blog, but I actually want that to be much bigger. Actually, I don't know if you noticed what I just did. I inadvertently made it 2 columns instead of 1. I only want 1. And we'll leave it like that. And now you've got your blog post. And once you've fiddled with it and you've set it up the way that you want it, here's how you make the template. So what we're going to do is, when you use a template, you realize the only thing you're going to be changing from post to post is the actual blog content. For the most part, you're going to be using a lot of the same lead magnets. You're going to be using the same bio, the same social, and the same blog content, blog role. So what we want to do is actually make everything from the blog post down a global element. And the way that we do that is we're going to go back to we're going to exit the visual builder. Let's save our changes here. We're going to exit the visual builder. We're going to edit our post. So from here, the only thing that's going to change that we're going to leave not global is the blog content. So from here, we want to make this the what we're going to do is save each of these rows to the library. So we're going to save it to the library. We're going to call this blog post magnet. Actually, this is what we're going to do. We're going to add the whole thing. Wrong button. I'm going to save this to the library. We're going to call this recipe, my apologies, blog post layout. And then we're going to save this to the library. And as we're saving this as a template, we want to make sure that what we're doing is saving the contents of each module, because we're not going to be changing them. Let's see if we can do it this way. So this row, we're going to save this to the library, and this is our blog lead magnet recipe book. Because we might have more, so we want to be specific when we save this. And we're going to make it a global item. Now what's going to happen is once I save this, it's going to turn green. And that just means that anytime you change this in any blog post, you change the content, it's going to change it everywhere. So just be mindful when you're making changes to global items, those changes happen everywhere that appears on your website. So let's go ahead and we'll make all of these global. This is going to be now you can actually save all of these individually to the library and then use them, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute, but we're going to be saving the entire layout for future blog posts. We're going to save this. We'll say social media. Save it as a global item, and we'll take a look at the library. We're going to save this one, and this is my about me. Now this could be on other pages too, on your services page or on a contact me page. So now you can see the only thing that doesn't get changed, that doesn't stay the same from post to post, will be the blog content. And we're going to actually save this entire layout. I think I just did that, but I'll do it again just to demonstrate. So we'll call this blog. Oops. Blog post. And what we'll do is we'll update this. Now, let's go back to, we'll pretend this is next week. We're in our website, we're creating another blog post for our readers. We're in our dashboard. We can go ahead and click on Add New Post. And what I like to do is actually put the content in here. So we'll say this is new. Actually, let's do this. Use the Divi builder. We're going to choose our pre-made, I'm going to build from scratch. Choose pre-made layout. And we'll go to our saved layouts. And it's actually not the one I wanted. Let's go back. This is the newest one with all the globals. And we're going to add our title. Make sure you update your permalink with the title. If you didn't change it before you opened the Divi builder, it will need to be updated. So now when the modules are added to the blog post, you can see that they are pre-populated. These are our global ones that are already saved. So if I were to go in and look at this, I'll see this is already the content that I've added. These are my social media platforms. This is my bio text. This is my headshot. So now if I want to change it in one place, if I want to change it everywhere, I only need to change it in one place. Now the only thing I need to do to update my blog post is go ahead and change the module that's labeled blog content and then update it for my newest blog post. Save the changes, make sure everything over here is correct. I want it full width, and then add my featured image if I want to use one. If I'm using Yoast, I can go in and update my SEO keywords, and then go ahead and hit, make sure actually before, check your title, and then publish your blog post.